So thank you all. My name is Toni and this is Hrvoje. I'm actually a professor at the University of Split, Croatia from the forensic department, and he's the student of this department. And today we are going to talk about the security of Eduroam. Basically, every year I do this kind of demo when the goal of the demo is to show to the students the security of Eduroam and their configuration is. I actually presented this talk a couple of years ago to a couple of ministers of science, and from this day I haven't gained any response. So I'm going to say what is actually the security of Eduroam, but mostly I'm going to talk about, and Hrvoje is going to talk about its implications on security. So does anyone of you know what Eduroam is? Yep. So I think that Eduroam is widely used wired and wireless network that allows you to connect freely anywhere in the world. Not anywhere or to anyone, but mostly it's used for education purposes. So me as a professor and he as a student have a free access to wireless everywhere in the world. So for example, if I come from Croatia to Australia and I see Eduroam network available online on my mobile phone, I'm going to be freely connected to this wireless network. So this is the thing that Eduroam allows me to. Croatia, Eduroam has been installed, I don't know, many years ago, and the Croatian Science Department has been actively involved in this kind of installation, so that anyone in Croatia has also free access to Eduroam network. What about the protocol of it? So the Eduroam uses WPA2 enterprise network. So it's basically an extensible authentication protocol used in 802.1x technology, IEEE technology. So it is basically a tunnel authentication protocol, and before user enters or sends his credentials, he can also authenticate the server he's being connected to. So how is this done? So if you have a mobile client that wants to authenticate or connect to access point or Eduroam wireless network, he basically sends a request to wireless access point. Access point forwards this request to authentication server, and if authentication server correctly verifies the mobile client, he basically says the access point, okay, you can go freely and you can allow this mobile client to connect to the internet. So the access point basically closes this control port, and the mobile client has a connection to the wireless. Okay, so this is basically what's going on behind all this communication. So in the shell we have extensible authentication protocol where the credentials of the user are being sent to. So this is by basically username and password of the mobile client. And since this protocol isn't secure, you have to establish a secure connection between a mobile client and the authentication server. So basically what is being done, the SSL connection is being established. With this SSL connection, mobile client authenticates the authentication server, and after that it sends its credentials, and the user is after that has a free access to the internet. How does this system allows me to connect if I'm basically in other country or another institution? Okay. It's being done that if I basically go to this, if I want to connect to Eduroam and my institution is in Split, the FSB, this institution forwards all data to FSB institution, and then the tunnel connection is being established between this authentication server and my mobile client, and then basically I have a connection to the internet. So the question arises, if any of these fields, so you can see here, it's not being seen very good, these are the fields you enter when you use a mobile client. So this is the username, password. This is some kind of certificate, and this is this anonymous at FSec2017. This is basically a domain name that you wish to connect to. So if you leave this field blank, you won't be granted any access to the Eduroam server, to the Eduroam network, because this field is used to send this packet that says, okay, I'm going to connect to this institution. If I send the blank packet, this authentication server won't know to which server I want to connect to. Okay, so I won't have a successful connection. But the question arises, what if I leave this field blank? Are you going to be connected to the Eduroam network? Yes or no? Yes. So this is basically the problem, and we're going to talk about it later. So what's being done? Okay, I send this packet. Okay, the tunnel TLS SSL is being established, and look at this. It's, in this field, the authentication server sends a certificate. This certificate is being sent to the mobile client, and actually what I do with this field, I actually verify the certificate. If I leave this blank, it actually means that I don't need to verify the certificate of the authentication server I want to connect to. And for some person that is actually the attacker, he can do a lot of mess. And we are actually going to show you what is this mess. Okay. So me as an attacker, I can actually install an access point that says, okay, I'm an Eduroam network, and behind it I can install authentication server. And since this field here is left blank, I can send any certificate I wish to this mobile client. And since this mobile client doesn't verify the certificate within this field, I'm going to send the credentials to this authentication server. Since this is where the SSL connection the data is being decrypted, me as authentication server, I'm going to have all the information about the username and password of this user that wants to connect to Eduroam. So this is basically the problem. And now Hrvoje, he's going to continue with his presentation. Yes.
Okay, now a little bit about practical ways of usage of Eduroam and security. So let's suppose there is two ways of usage Eduroam. First one is less user-friendly, but it's assumed it's more secure. So let's say an example, you go on eduroam.installer.hr web page, you need to generate your own certificate to set up on mobile device, like Toni said. So you need to log in with your student credential or AI identity. And in that case, you expect that connection is secure. So at least you expect HTTPS protocol, but every one of you can try on Firefox browser, on example. There is no secure socket layer, it's just HTTP protocol. So when you make a login on web page where you will create your certificate, you are at insecure connection. So that is first problem of secure usage of Eduroam. After you create your certificate, you need to download an Eduroam installer application, install it, and after that, basically you can use Eduroam more or less secure. Other approach is more user-friendly, and it supposes that user just need to enter username and password, and certificate stay by default, so unspecified. If you click connect, everything is working fine, so user get what they want. They can use internet. Okay, now you can say, how can someone build a fake access point like Eduroam? Eduroam is something new, something big, something pretty secure, but in real life, it's not. because we built fake Eduroam access point or evil twin access point just with Raspberry Pi, one Wi-Fi adapter, and free and open source Linux distribution Kali Linux. Kali Linux have installed a host APD application, which is a user space daemon for access point and authentication server, and it supports all of modern methods and algorithm for Wi-Fi protection. So actually you can build evil twin hotspot in less than 10 minutes, and after that you need just to send few of the authentication packages to original hotspot, and that's all. All clients near your hotspot try to connect on your fake hotspot, not on original Eduroam hotspot. Okay, so results of our experiments. We have a little equipment, so just 4 Raspberry Pi. We set it up on different locations on faculty, and they was active during 1 month. I need to mention that we set up those equipment on technical faculty, so it's supposed that student and professor have some knowledge about computers, networking, and security. Also, I need to mention that any data collected in this experiment was not stored and used in any way, just for analysis. So results. We have more than 1,400 unique Eduroam users, and less than 600 of them was properly configured, so they have Eduroam certificate. What is with other almost 800? So 540 unique Eduroam users. For the second phase of authentication, choose CHAP or MS-CHAP algorithm. So that means we cannot directly read their user data, so identity and password, but it's really easy and possible to make a brute force attack on MS-CHAP challenge response, and on that way find out user data. Other 400 sent their data over PUB or in plain text mode. So they send their username and password over internet in plain text mode, so basically we or anyone else can read their data. Why those data is so important? It's student identity, academic identity. Why so important? Well, because you can do some stuff with those data. An example, you can log in on Microsoft DreamSpark and completely free download all Microsoft product. If you are not student, there is problem for Microsoft, let's say. The other bigger problem is our government portal, e-Građani or e-Citizens. That is portal where you can do a lot of bureaucratic stuff, both for private and business users. And what
You
is
can
more,
no. Okay, I think.
what is more important, we look this yellow part of circle. Almost 10% of every login on e-Citizen portal was made with IIA data, so with academic identity. And also you can get access to some libraries like Scopus, JSTOR, and many on. So, does we have a problem? Yes. Are the user problem? No. Why? Because users just want to use a service. Users just want to go on internet. So they are not interested what's happening in background. And many of them is not well educated and do not understand what's happening behind those connect. So our mission needs to be to prevent usage of service if the minimum of security requirements are not met. Because if you ask user, usability always win, and user don't think that some certificate, generation certificate, install application that is not user friendly. So user don't want to do that, user just want to use internet. And that's all from us. If you have any question, you can ask now or send us email.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, thank you very much.